And a very warm welcome to Mayor Wu and our many other distinguished guests. My name is Joan Crystal, and I'm State Street Senior Vice President and Head of Corporate Citizenship and Global Inclusion. On behalf of our CEO, Ron O'Hanley, and my State Street colleagues, I'm delighted to host you as we celebrate today's announcement on early college. While State Street is a global company with some 40,000 employees worldwide, we've been proud to call Boston our home since 1792. As a company that is nearly as old as the country itself, State Street from its very beginning has made a steadfast commitment to being a good corporate citizen. And that includes our commitment to Boston and our belief in the importance of education as a lever that can turbocharge efforts around diversity, equity, and inclusion. Emblematic of that commitment is our long history of investing in college and career readiness and success for Boston high school students. Over 6 years, State Street has invested more than $26 million in 5 nonprofits working in Boston public high schools, which has increased the scale of college readiness services by nearly 70%. And then in 2021, State Street Foundation launched a series of investments in early college, a proven strategy that aligns with our foundation's focus on promoting racial equity in education and employment. In just 1 year, we've made significant strides in our early college efforts, and so I want to share just a few top-line figures. State Street Foundation has contributed $1.3 million to date to 4 early college high schools in Boston and Quincy to support program design, implementation, expert consulting, and technical assistance. We also made a $75,000 grant to study the feasibility of setting up an early college statewide intermediary to promote and grow the program, followed by another $300,000 in seed funding for the intermediary, which is now its own 501c3, known as the Massachusetts Alliance for Early College. In addition, we made a $150,000 grant to support UMass Boston as it prepares to enter the early college world as a key higher ed partner for Boston high schools. State Street Foundation is now in our year 2 funding cycle, and we anticipate investing an additional $1 million in 2022 to our 4 high school partners, which include 2 Boston public schools, New Mission High School and Dearborn STEM Academy. And meanwhile, state budget resources to support early college continue to grow. So as you can see, at State Street, we recognize the power of early college, a model that provides students with structured pathways to college while helping them save time and money by earning college credits while in high school, giving them the confidence, habits, and skills needed for career and life success. That's why we're so committed to early college and why we believe so strongly in the difference it makes. And I know I am not alone in this room in believing that education is a great equalizer, that early college is helping to provide economically disadvantaged and underrepresented students with a powerful route toward post-secondary education. So here at State Street, since we're a bank, we really like our data. And the data is very clear on early college. National research shows that students around the country who participate in early college programs complete college at a rate that is double that of their counterparts. And in financial services, we have a term for those kinds of results, a term you're all familiar with, a good return on investment. And that's truly what early college is. So with that, we are so pleased to welcome Mayor Wu and our other partners in this important announcement that we know will make a significant difference for students, their families, and our beloved city of Boston. So now it's my privilege to introduce a public figure who truly needs no introduction. Our mayor has an extraordinary background in business, law, and community advocacy. As a mother to 2 boys in the Boston Public Schools, she also sees firsthand how all these factors come into play around the all-important topic of education. Mayor Wu, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Joan, and to our hosts here and to our partners from all across the city. Even you can see the leaders assembled here who represent the energy and passion and promise that we are ready to lay down for our young people in Boston. But even looking out in the audience, so many folks who wear all different hats, sometimes multiple hats, in making sure that we are living up to what we owe to generations to come. So I especially want to shout out, and you'll hear from folks in a little bit as well, but our Superintendent of Schools, Brenda Caselius, Chairwoman of the Chair of the Boston School Committee, Jerry Robinson, Chair Julia Mejia, who leads the Boston City Council's Education Committee, Madam President Pam Edinger of Bunker Hill Community College, President Mark Thompson from Wentworth Institute of Technology, Dr. Aisha Francis, Madam President and CEO of the Benjamin Franklin Cummings Institute of Technology. Marinelle Roumanier, President and CEO of EdVestors. Principal Will Thomas from New Mission High. I also want to acknowledge Deputy Superintendent Drew Eckelson from Boston Public Schools. Where's Drew? Who's really helped quarterback this. Marcia Innes Mitchell and Lydia Emmons from Boston Public Schools, who've led district-level planning to expand early college. Mary Churchill and Bob Schwartz, who have been champions for our schools and particularly for this initiative, who I had the chance to meet with a little bit ago, and they basically said, not if, but when are you doing the announcement? Jim Rooney, President and CEO of the Greater Boston Chamber of Commerce. Jay Ash and the Mass Competitive Partnership. Okay, I'm going to cut it there because there are many other folks who, Paul Revel also, my mentor. And then most of all, these will be the stars of our program, the inspirations to really make sure that we understand exactly what is possible as they lead the way. Juan Ortiz Geronimo and Alicia Martinez, who are both juniors at the Dearborn STEM, who will speak and tell us a little bit. So we're here building off of the work of many before us, and I'm grateful to so many who have put down those markers and planted flags to make sure that we could keep growing our commitment to young people in Boston. In 2015, the Boston Public Schools piloted early college at Charlestown High School. Will know as well. Students could prepare for a career there and begin to earn college credits for free. Since that launch, Charlestown High students have earned over 300 college credits, saving tens of thousands of dollars in their secondary and postgraduate education. Since then, BPS has expanded early college and innovation pathways to even more schools. At the Dearborn STEM Academy, where there are pathways for computer science, engineering, and health sciences. At Excel High, where there's a pathway for information technology. And at Madison Park, where there's an early college pathway with multiple options. These programs have already helped hundreds of students pursue opportunities here in Boston, and there are thousands more of our young people who deserve this opportunity. That's why I'm so excited to be here with our superintendent, leaders from the city and from the district, partners in higher ed, industry, and most importantly, our young people, to announce that we are introducing 6 new early college and innovation pathways across 4 additional schools. We will be adding at New Mission High, computer science and engineering, at Brighton High, Health Sciences, at Fenway, Entrepreneurship, at the Jeremiah Burke, Biotech, and at Excel, Business Finance. We're so grateful to the local colleges and universities who have partnered with us to get us here, Bunker Hill Community College, Roxbury Community College, Wentworth, and BFIT, or BFCIT now, for offering early college classes and admitting every single Dearborn student graduating this year from Dearborn High School. I want to give a special thanks because I know from having learned a little bit from Dr. Francis and others that on the part of our college partners, of course, there's a benefit, right? We see and hear the energy from each and every one of our institutional partners to be creating direct pathways, to be able to welcome our talented, best and brightest and homegrown Boston students through their doors, but it takes a lot of coordination, it takes funding, it takes special attention to make sure that we are preparing the most nurturing, supportive, smoothest transition point. So I want to give a special thanks again to our school college leaders for putting all of that effort in. Today we're also announcing that the Boston Public Schools is applying for a competitive grant from the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education to take this early college and career program district-wide. Right? It's not enough we're celebrating the progress, the steps that we're taking today, but we're not resting until every single school, every single student in Boston Public Schools is guaranteed a shot at this. Our goal is to develop a consortium model for early college and innovation pathways so that each high school and college won't need individual designation. Right now, in some ways, as I've learned, the state programs are modeled for smaller districts where each individual school has to go through its own process to establish these pathways, confirm that and report the numbers. But in a district as large as Boston with over 24 high schools, let's figure out a way to streamline and make it easy so that we can remove that burden from our school leaders and from our educators and our young people. Expanding early college across BPS is critical to lowering the cost of a college education. And we see this as an important piece as we continue to advocate alongside Congresswoman Presley and so many other federal leaders for student debt cancellation and to make sure that our young people are not emerging from the opportunities we're creating in Boston Public Schools to a life of debt that then continues to be a burden. Let's make sure that we can do both and. This early college opportunity also gives students entry points into key sectors and careers right here in Boston. We know life sciences is booming and Boston is leading the way nationally. Healthcare, we have given birth here to some of the vaccines that saved millions of lives across the world during the pandemic. Finance, we see the State Street new building going up right across the way. Computer science and technology, these are the spaces, jobs, and power centers that our Boston Public School students deserve to step into. We're excited to make these pathways more accessible with support from partners in the room here today. And our message to the community is simple. Join us. We are ready. We need you. Join us in investing in career readiness and college for Boston Public School students. Join us in educating, empowering, and employing our students in the careers and industries that are driving our economy. And I will say again and again, this has been a challenging moment for our young people, our school communities, our educators in particular. This is also the envy of cities across the country with the energy that we have here in Boston to put together the pieces in a way that lays the foundation for our best, brightest possible future. Okay, and so I'm going to make sure, as I'm grateful to our media for always covering our events bilingually as well in Spanish. En el 2015, las escuelas públicas de Boston lanzaron un programa de early college en la Charlestown High School. Los estudiantes podrían prepararse para sus carreras y obtener créditos universitarios gratis. Desde ese entonces, los estudiantes de Charlestown han acumulado más de 300 créditos universitarios. En los últimos años, hemos expandido nuestros programas de Early College y Innovation Pathways a otras escuelas, Dearborn STEM, Excel Academy y Madison Park. Estos programas han ayudado a cientos de estudiantes a aprovechar las oportunidades disponibles aquí mismo en nuestra ciudad. Hay miles de estudiantes más que merecen esas mismas oportunidades. Por eso me emociona estar aquí con la superintendente de las escuelas públicas, Brenda Cassellas, chairwoman, jefa de comité escolar de Boston, Jerry Robinson, jefa de comité escolar de la ciudad, consejo municipal en Boston, Julia Mejía, y otros líderes escolares, universitarios y líderes empresariales para anunciar que vamos a lanzar 6 nuevos programas de Early College y Innovation Pathways en las siguientes escuelas: New Mission, Fenway, Brighton, Jeremiah Burke y Excel. Estoy muy agradecida a Bunker Hill Community College, Roxbury Community College y Wentworth Institute of Technology por su colaboración. También estoy agradecida a Benjamin Franklin Cummings Institute of Technology por aceptar a cada estudiante que se va a graduar de la Dearborn Academy este año y por ofrecerles clases de Early College hace muchos años. También me emociona anunciar que Boston Public School, BPS, está solicitando una subvención competitiva del Estado para ayudarnos a llevar nuestro programa Early College a todo el distrito. La ampliación de Early College en BPS es fundamental para reducir el coste de la educación universitaria. También ofrece a los estudiantes puntos de entrada a sectores y carreras clave. Estoy emocionada de poder hacer estos anuncios con nuestros compañeros. Nuestro mensaje es simple: acompáñanos. Ayúdanos a educar, entrenar y emplear a nuestros estudiantes en las carreras y industrias que impulsen nuestro futuro. Gracias, and I will pass it on to our chair, Councilor Julia Mejía.
Good morning, everyone. I am excited to be here. I have a script, but I think you guys will get the full effect if I just speak from my heart. I think we're here for that, right? So, and also I'm very nervous because it's always intimidating for me to be in these spaces. And I was telling Paul that I walk into certain spaces and I always wonder, oh my God, they're going to find out I don't belong. And so that's what that is called for a lot of our students who walk into college for the first time. Who have never been exposed to different opportunities. And so as the first person in my family to graduate high school and college, I understand how important this investment is in making sure that we're setting up our students for success. So when our students walk into any room, boardroom, any space that they walk in with the confidence of knowing that they're ready to succeed and be prepared to thrive in any space that they're in, So I lied. I am going to go back here, just make sure that I stay on track, y'all. So I just wanted to say thank you to the mayor, thank you to the advocates, and thank you to all the people who are here today. You are the reason why we are able to make this happen and making sure that we're setting up the next generation up for success. I always say that Boston is resource rich, but coordination poor. And the way that everyone is stepping up here recognizes that we all play a role in making sure that our students are not only able to survive, but that they're able to thrive. As when I was in high school, I was working at Tommy Can shoe store, and probably you're wearing some shoes that I sold you. And I was also cleaning offices with my mom. I was on the do not drop out track because I had already dropped out. And it wasn't until Liz Walker, who was the first African-American news anchor in the state of Massachusetts, who shared her story about her career that inspired me to become the first person in my family to graduate high school and go to college. And it was that exposure early on that interrupted my entire cycle of poverty. So when you have programs that are intentional and are designed specifically to give young people, especially first-generation students, an opportunity to see what is possible and removing the barriers so that they can thrive, then that's how we're going to address the wealth gap that we've been talking about here in the city of Boston. And that's going to take all of us. And so that intentionality is what brought me here, because I usually don't show up for press conferences. But I was super excited about this one because I'm also the chair of workforce development. And the intersection of education and our workforce and the responsibility that our higher ed institutions have, and also our employers, it's about all of us working collectively to bring about change. So I was here for all of this. This is an exciting opportunity, and I want to thank Mayor Wu for her efforts in meeting this moment. So let's give it up for Mayor Wu. That's right. And really meeting people and setting the stage for what is possible here in the city of Boston. And so I'm super encouraged by this initiative and look forward to not only creating a path, but also making sure that we're holding ourselves accountable to what those outcomes are going to look like. And it's going to take all of us working together across our differences to ensure that our students are set up for success and that we put Boston on the map, y'all. Okay? There are a lot of people who come here to work, and we have a responsibility in making sure that our kids from our Boston public schools are able to not only just go on to college, but are able to live here. And this is the one step that we're taking in making that possible. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be with you all here this morning, and I'm super excited for this and ready to roll up my sleeves and do the good work to ensure that our kids are not left behind. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Madam Chair, so much. Next up, we'll hear from Superintendent Brendan Cassellius, followed by Chair Jerry Robinson.
Thank you, Councilor Mejia, for your incredible energy and for believing in our kids and the support that you give to the Boston Public Schools. Thank you, Mayor, for carrying on this work that I think also started with Mayor Kim Janey as well, with Mary Churchill in the office. So many partners out here today. It's just beautiful to see everybody's faces and be able to celebrate our students in Boston Public Schools. I'd like to ask a few folks to come up here. Marcia and Lydia, would you please just come up here? So as superintendent, I often get a chance to be at these press conferences and be the face of Boston Public Schools, but it's really great people like these two who do the hard work of partnering with all of you and all of our higher organizations to really make these things happen. So thank you, Marcia, and thank you, Lydia, for your incredible work. So I want to just I also want to thank Marinelle for her incredible work at EdVestors and all the wonderful work that they do with us. Pam Ettinger, who has done some incredible work with us over at Bunker Hill with our first ever Charlestown flagship high school doing early college, and Will in his incredible leadership that you bring there and now bringing to New Mission as well. So I want to recognize that as well, so give that up. There are just way too many to thank, but I've said all along that it's going to be an all hands on deck. And certainly this room is proving that it will take all hands on deck to get our kids there, particularly because we've been through really 2.5 years of the most difficult time for our students. And if you're watching any of the news, you know that our students are really struggling right now. And so you all coming together to wrap your hands around our students is quite inspiring and really needed at this time. So I can't thank you enough for that. In Boston Public Schools, we believe that increasing the breadth and the depth of early college programs and innovation pathways in our schools is a key strategy in continuing to accelerate student learning and raise academic rigor for our students. This work complements the policy passage that we made around mass core requirements and really raising the expectation for our students. So I want to thank Chair Robinson for her leadership on the school committee to pass graduation requirements that are aligned to college and career readiness for all of our high schools, so that we can ensure that a diploma means something and that students are prepared when they go to your industries and take jobs in the future here in Boston. Since January of 2021, we have been collaborating with higher education partners and EdVestors to secure and implement a career pathway program from JP Morgan Chase. This is why we have made it a strategic priority to increase the percentage of students completing advanced coursework by 2025. Early college and innovation pathways are both high-impact program models that increase the readiness of BPS students to enroll and persist in both secondary education and access in-demand careers in our region's highly skilled economy. These initiatives can be particularly powerful when they are strategically aligned. In collaboration with the New Skills Boston initiative facilitated by EdVestors and engaging key stakeholders, BPS is implementing an equity-centered planning process to develop new programs across the district and will engage a new cohort of schools for pathways expansion in June of 2022. We're excited to announce the launch of 6 new state-designed pathway programs at Brighton High School, I say Brighton Rising, Burke High School, Excel High School, New Mission High School, and Fenway High School. To further strengthen these efforts and to support a more systems-level strategy for early college options across Boston Public Schools, we're proud to announce that we have submitted a grant to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education to incubate innovation pathways and to pursue our early college goals. BPS, in collaboration with Roxbury Community College, has proposed an early college consortium designed specifically to support our multilingual learners. If awarded the grant, BPS and RCC together will see deep collaboration between BPS and RCC, faculty, and leadership to design an innovative district-wide early college model. They're going to scale high-quality college and career pathways across all of our BPS schools, and then co-create instructional frameworks and wraparound supports to ensure underrepresented students, specifically English language learners, that they can access and persist in college early pathways. Through this opportunity, BPS and Roxbury Community College will partner in a year of planning to develop new and innovative strategies to engage all learners in rigorous coursework. Key activities as part of the planning and development of early college and innovative pathways expansion include convening cross-functional steering committee composed of BPS and RCC faculty to design and pilot the early college program that is tailored to the needs of our multilingual learners. Also engaging with school leaders to address and resolve any structural barriers to student participation. In particular, this year's budget is going to be investing in academic counselors in all of our high schools, particularly at the 9th grade level where we'll be 1 to 150. Having academic counselors work directly with students is a key strategy to increasing access. Developing robust student support structures, which are embedded within our classrooms with our educators, doing co-teaching models and mentoring, blending institutional practices through ongoing professional development and instructional coaches who have content expertise across the two institutions, engaging community-based and nonprofit partners, who many are here, providing ongoing college and career advising to all of our consortium students, and then leveraging our key partners like the PIC, and I see Neil Sullivan in the audience as well, to work with our work-based learning environments as well as career exploration during the younger years for our students. Boston Public Schools is committed to increasing our students' opportunities and helping them to succeed in college and in their future careers. Over these past few years, the pandemic has clearly exposed the inequities for many of our students and families, and these expansions address some of these concerns by closing achievement gaps and ensuring an excellent and equitable education, along with options for continued advancement for our students. We're excited to be able to expand these opportunities to more of our BPS scholars, to continue to ensure their readiness for life and for graduation. And I can't thank all of you enough for your participation in this incredible announcement today and your ongoing participation to ensure each and every one of our students gets what they need to succeed in college and career. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jerry Robinson, Chair of the School Committee. I was not expecting to speak this morning, but I just do want to just come in, so I have no notes. Anyway, but I just want to come and say thank you. Thank you to all of you all for investing in our kids and believing in our kids. I'm an early childhood person, so I love seeing what we're doing for our kids at the end of their careers or their school career, but the launching of their life career. But I know our kids won't get there if we don't invest from birth up until 9th grade. So as excited as I am about this, I also worry how many of our kids may not be as prepared to take this on as we would want. So that I feel like we have to invest in both ends. We have to invest in the future, but we've got to invest from birth in this city. This is a city of education. We have got more higher education concentrated in this city than they do anywhere else in the world. We have more brain power. We have more resources. We've had people who have written all about us. But we now need to invest all of what they've learned about us in us so that we can be proud that every single kid that graduates from a Boston public school can actually go on to take a seat in one of the many colleges around this city. Because people all over the world send their kids here, and our kids are on the outside looking in. I will know BPS is successful when every single BPS graduate can actually enroll in and graduate from one of our Boston area schools within 5 years. So that, to me, is the goal. So we have got to get this off and running. But remember, don't forget my babies, because they won't be your graduates if we don't get them going well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We know you never need notes, so. And thank you, Superintendent. Okay, next up we have a line of our incredible higher education leaders. First will be President Pam Ettinger, then President Mark Thompson, then President Aisha Francis.
I can't believe I'm following all these people. This is my 9th year in Boston, and in year 1, I met Will. Will and I schemed, scraped, and with spit and shoestring started the first early college at Charlestown High School. And to this day, the dedication that Will put into forming that relationship is the kind of energy that we've had that powered where we are today. We have over 1,000 students in early college with Bunker Hill Community College alone. And I'm sure my colleagues who are lined up next to me there have equally as many, but that's not enough. We need to double, triple, we need to be wall to wall. And that's how we're going to make a difference. And one of the things that I wanted to point out to you is that I've been in this business about 30 years. And we are very cautious about using terms like silver bullet. I can tell you early college is the only silver bullet that I've seen in 30 years that can guarantee results. And you talk about return on investment, that's the kind of return on investment. And it's not just an investment in the top 10% of the high achievers. I will not run an early college that way. Early college is for everyone who is ready and willing. If we talk about equity in Boston, it is that equity. It is not about skimming the top and sending our students to selectives. It is about every student graduating from the BPS schools and then coming to one of our wonderful higher ed institutions and then having a path forward. And I'm happy to see that we have folks here today who is supporting it. I would like all the coaches in the audience to raise their hand. All of our coaches. We talk about wraparound services, that's our wraparound service. They track our students every Monday and Wednesday and Thursday in the Student Center. And I'm going to make sure I see them the next time I get on campus. And our students is not that they are different from any other student from any other urban institution. We need to get the barriers out of their way so they can succeed. It is not about fixing our students ever. It is about fixing our system so that they can go from their early childhood education into wherever it is that they're going to head. So I'm committed to this work, and I hope you're committed to this work, and I hope DESE is committed to a new system or a new way of managing early college that would allow us to go wall to wall. So thank you very much for being here today.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for inviting me this morning to be here with all of you and providing Boston students with opportunity and access to education has always been a Wentworth hallmark, and it's something that I'm personally passionate about. We have 4 pillars in our strategic plan. I won't tell you all 4, but I'll tell you the one that's most important. It's first, intentionally, that's inclusive excellence as a goal for our institution. And that's related to what I feel very strongly about in terms of the responsibility of colleges and universities to use their resources in ways that are meaningful and be committed to doing it in a sincere way. And I can tell you that our work towards our inclusive excellence goal means providing access to students, and not only that, but providing them the support necessary such that they reach their full potential and go on to a successful life and career. And I want to recognize our early college partner high schools, Dearborn STEM Academy, Fenway High School, and New Mission High School. And I'm thrilled that the 2 Dearborn students are here this morning with us, and you'll hear from them, Alicia and Juan. They're just both incredible. I know they have very bright futures ahead, so I hope you get a chance to understand what their aspirations are and offer your support to both of them. So I'm trained as an economist, and so 2 things I like numbers and I like efficiency. So I'll keep my remarks efficient and just share a couple of numbers with you. 750 is the number of students we've welcomed to campus through dual enrollment or early college programs over the last 10 years. The top 5, Wentworth has moved from a top 15 institution in enrolling first-year students from Boston to the top 5 over the past 4 years. 2,000 is the number of students who are committed to, at a minimum, to serve in Boston Public High Schools or Boston Public Schools over the next 10 years. So I hope that reflects our goal towards inclusive excellence. And starting in the fall, additionally, we'll implement an automatic matriculation policy for students from their early college designated partnerships, which means a student will be able to automatically attend Wentworth as an undergraduate after high school. Wentworth is the only private higher education university to have an early college designation with a Boston Public High School, and we want to invite others to participate. We should not be the only one designated as such. And I want to thank my team who are in the back here. Thank them for their good work. It reflects their good work, and I'm thankful that their meaningful work has made this happen. And we're committed to supporting the City of Boston and securing additional partners in early college designations, and we look forward to working with all of you towards our common goal. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Aisha Francis, President and CEO of Ben Franklin Cummings Institute of Technology, and so much of what we've heard this morning is music to our ears, our institutional ears. I want to thank Mayor Wu and her administration for making an expansion and an emphasis on early college a key part of her administration's early goals and initiatives. Ben Franklin Cummings is a school that before the flagships and before these kinds of initiatives was piloting early college since 2006. And we have awarded more than 10,000 credit hours to students over this period because we know that this effort really does help ensure that people from all backgrounds make it to college and that they are able to do that more affordably. We're an institution that serves Greater Boston, but 50% of our students are from Boston, 40% are from Boston Public Schools, 60% are first-generation college students, 74% are students of color. It is incumbent upon us to make sure that we do everything that we can while students are in high school and even before, to Chairwoman Robinson's point, to make sure that college access isn't something that we say repeatedly, but it's something that we do. Actions speak louder than words, and the press conference is really important, but so is what we do day in and day out. And early college is one of the ways that we know we can get more students to succeed in college attainment. And why is that important? Because we know that it increases their earnings after they graduate, and it gives them access to so many of the careers that folks here at State Street and other of our business partners are saying they really need in order for us to produce and be as competitive as we can be in our region. We're very grateful for our stalwart partners in the early college work that we do, the Jeremiah Burke, Madison Park, and Dearborn STEM. As you've heard mentioned, Dearborn STEM Academy is particularly important to us as we decided to proactively admit all 83 of their seniors to Benjamin Franklin Institute of Technology this year. So we're looking forward to growing as the city grows, to deepening our commitment to early college programs. And our designation application is in the pipeline, so we're coming to really formalize the work that we've been doing since 2006. So we really appreciate all of your efforts, your support. It does take this concerted commitment from coalition of partners, not just the colleges or the high schools, but the business community and our advocates as well. Thank you so much for being part of that commitment.
Next, we'll hear from our two incredible student leaders, Juan Ortiz Geronimo and Alicia Martinez, both juniors at the Dearborn STEM.
Good morning, all. My name is Juan My fault. My name is Juan David Geronimo Ortiz. I am a junior at Dearborn STEM Academy, and today I will be telling you all about my experience with early college. Before I begin, though, I'd like to thank Jesse Solomon, Ms. Almquist, and the rest of the DSA team, as well as everyone present today. Early college in its entirety has shaped me. When I first heard about the idea, I thought, there's no way of me doing that. Thinking back at it now, it took about 3 different talks with Ms. Almquist just to convince me that I was able to do it. But I did it, and it wasn't as cumbersome as I thought it would be. I personally went through some struggles and can say I had my low points, but due to the support given to me and overall positive energy, I was able to push myself and achieve something that I didn't think I would. I made sure to push myself because others saw something in me that I didn't, and I wanted to honor that. What I want any student listening to understand is that it is an opportunity, and one that many would love to have. It is an opportunity to enroll in college courses at no cost while being in high school. Let me repeat, it's free college. All there is for you to do is to put the effort in. Truth be told, it's not even about the grade that you take or how well you perform academically, even though you should aim for excellence. It's more about what you get from it. I had a hard time in class and didn't start off on the right foot, but through thick and thin, I persevered. The mentors like Ms. Almquist and Ms. Baez, the very helpful tutors like Mr. Solomon, and all those who supported me made it so I could push through it. If you were wondering, I took Math 1000 at Wentworth, so but I do believe that's the beauty that lies in adversity. Early college taught me how to be self-disciplined, how to advocate for myself, and just gave me a clear vision on what I wanted to do after high school. As a student, I learned something, but as a person, I grew. And then finally, I would like to say that any student that has the opportunity to do it, if it's available, take as many courses as you can. And thank you all for your time.
Hi, good morning. My name is Alessia Martinez, and I'm a junior, and I will be graduating from the Dearborn STEM Academy next year. And today I want to talk about my early college experience. My experience will always be a memorable experience. I remember entering high school during middle school, before entering high school, where we learned basic science, math, history, and ELA. But entering high school, we were offered early college classes. I was exposed to a variety of different subjects that wouldn't be offered in schools. I took medical terminology in Bunker Hill, and college mathematics at Wentworth as well. And my professors were wise and always ready to help me. To be taking these classes at Dearborn STEM Academy has been a privilege to me and the students at the Academy. And I want to personally thank Mayor Wu for her efforts in making sure that students like me receive high quality education in schools. And it's comforting to know that there are still people who see us, who want us to succeed, who want to give us a bright future that we were promised. There are still people who have faith in the school and its students, and I am forever grateful for the efforts put into my future and my education. And one thing that I was taught in school is that education empowers those who have lived in adversity. It gives us power to change our lives by developing skills, building our self-confidence, and many more things that will stick with us through our lives as citizens in this society. And through this early college experience, I was pushed to reach more than what I thought I could reach, to not let discouragement stop me from reaching my full potential. I am grateful to everyone who has put in all their efforts into making early college and pathways at Dearborn possible. There are some students, unfortunately, who don't understand how important this opportunity is and don't take advantage of this opportunity. People see our backgrounds and the communities we're from, and for that reason, many believe that we will not be effective citizens of society, that we don't even have a future. But there are still students like Juan and myself that are trying to make a difference in our community. We want to be your future doctors, your future engineers, physicians, software developers, architects, and many more careers. But we need your help in order to be successful, because not only do we represent our schools, ourselves, we also represent our countries that we are from, our communities, and our family. So thank you.
Amazing job. Our final two speakers will be Marnell Roumanier of Edvesters and Will Thomas, New Mission High School.
Never follow young people. Can we give them another round of applause?
Mayor Wu, over the last several months, I've heard you talk often about the need to get the small things right in order to do the big things. And I think today's examples that we've all heard about is exactly aligned with that approach. The need for us to collectively get the small things right to ensure the big dreams that our students have and that we have for them are possible. New Skills Boston, that you've heard a little bit about, is a collaboration aimed at developing pathways and policies that give historically marginalized students equal access to post-secondary and real-world work experiences that lead to high-wage, in-demand careers. This partnership, aimed at building this kind of career-connected learning, is supported, as you've heard, by a significant investment from JP Morgan Chase. But what's really important is it's enabled partners to come together and create new relationships, strengthen ones that have existed, problem solve together, and chip away at barriers. That's the small things that it takes to do this work every day. And I'm so grateful for the partners who have engaged in this work over 2.5 years, many before that, but in particular in this life of Zoom, including BPS and our colleagues that you've heard from today, the superintendent's team, and Marcia and Lydia leading the way, Bunker Hill Community College and Pam's amazing colleagues, UMass Boston, the PIC, the Boston Foundation, the Massachusetts Executive Office of Education, and the Mayor's Office of Workforce Development. It has been incredible to work with them to move this work forward. As the lead partner for New Skills Boston, Advestors convenes these collaborators to align our efforts and work together to reduce barriers by working on things like access to data and seamless student supports, which you heard some examples from Pam about what that really looks like. We believe in the power of partnership and envision a Boston where every student can have the opportunity to progress through pathways that are engaging and relevant, help them make informed choices about their future, offer direct connection to post-secondary opportunities, and prepare them to make it into meaningful careers of their own choosing. Through our work, we've seen the power of innovation pathways and early college programs and what they can do to help us achieve this vision. A key component of these pathways is the opportunities for students to learn in the workplace. And it's employers like State Street who really truly walks the walk, both in supporting all of the efforts that Joan talked about, including Advestors' work in this area, and in providing employment opportunities for Boston High School students since the last century at least, that really makes this possible. And so we're so grateful for your leadership and other employers like you who really make this happen. We owe it collectively to our young people to remove the systemic barriers to entry and success in quality career learning opportunities so that all students can engage in higher education learning and options that in the workplace that inform their future so they can choose their own path. Today, in this announcement, is another small thing on the way to the big things, with Mayor Wu, you lending your leadership and voice to this effort so that more institutions are stepping up and getting engaged as a result. I look forward to continuing this important work together with everyone in this room and beyond. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. No pressure as the closer, huh? When Maya invited me last week to come to this event, I thought, oh, it was a small little thing, it's a little gathering. But now, well, it feels a little bit overwhelming because this is not a small thing. 9 years ago, or 7 or 8 years ago, I can't remember when we did this with Pam and Charlestown and Bunker Hill, we feel like we were pioneers because there was no other school in the district that actually did it. There wasn't the report that was done. We were actually part of that report, making that report. And SAP came in and JFF came in and said we want to partner with Bunker Hill, with Charlestown, with PIC, with DESE, with the district. And when they brought me in and asked, do you guys want to do it? And it was really a no-brainer for me. It's like this is incredible stuff. And so we started the Tech Pathway at Charlestown. And then then Pam and I got into a back room and we're like, let's do more than just a tech pathway. What about a business pathway? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And then what about a health one? Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll do a liberal. And we'll do all these different things. And then Marjorie Greenrose is here somewhere. She brought us in front of a group and she kind of said, presented and said, here's the new thing that's coming. And this is like 6 or 7 years. This is a new thing. This is the new thing. And it really felt lonely at that time. You know, it's just like we were the only ones screaming like, this is a really great stuff. This is really great stuff. So I'm thankful to the mayor, you know, making this announcement because this is really big. This is huge, right? I'm just overwhelmingly excited and thankful for Dr. Vasilius and Ms. Robinson supporting this type of things because the students said it all. I mean, we're doing it for them. They said it already. They testified how wonderful it is, and I say ditto. Ditto for what they said because when I was the head of school at Charlestown, we had about maybe 5 to 10 kids participating in dual enrollment. So kids going to high school, going to college in high school is not a new thing. We had it. We were doing it for this pathways. It was happening, but we had about 5 or 10 kids doing it. That was it. But then when we started the pathways and being really intentional about it, don't get me wrong, we were trying to be intentional before. We were trying to get kids to go through it. We encourage them. They weren't biting. But when we started the pathways, by the time I left Charlestown, we had about 130 plus students enrolled in early college work. 130 kids, from 5 to 10 to 130 kids. And every time I spoke to those students and had conversation with them, they were really confident in exactly what Juan and Elisa were saying. They saw themselves in college. They put themselves, especially our first generation college goers, they see themselves in equal footing with college students. Me being a first generation college goer myself, I didn't know what that was, and my parents didn't know what college was because they couldn't really advise me. And so I had to go on blind faith that I was going to go to college and that college is a good thing. But by students going into college right now during their high school time and seeing themselves in it and picture themselves in it and going through the trial and tribulation now, that will help and support them so that when they can actually finish out, when they actually do go to and have nothing but college, the college classes in their future year. So this is a huge thing. I'm thankful for the support that the mayor and the city of Boston is going to put behind this. As a school leader, doing it, I feel like doing it by myself or by ourselves and not having necessarily a big support behind us, it felt lonely. But knowing now that future leaders will have the support and the resources that they actually need on top of the work that they're already doing, it's a big win for the city of Boston. It's a big win for our students. It's a big win for our district. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Do any media have questions about this for anyone up here? And if you have off-topic questions, I'll take them to the side after. Good. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here.